door. I used to work my mom never used to bake my
certain people,
who never used to bake
certain
my
people.
he never used to bake my ass. I nigga had to make I nigga he did my passport to the US.
Oh, I know that's what you mean. Okay. So no, yeah. No, you mentioned that you wanted for it.
Yeah,
That's
that's a better reason to
that's so. Yeah, but no, we mentioned it. I mean, you bring that up. It's not only us. There you go. It's just fine.
yeah, he said he's not been confirmed. That's a small body.
Right, when you're in the know, yeah, both. Nothing else, and it's so sad that
is Angie's Tea's Beet Blast. It consists of apples, carrots, ginger, and beets.
Sweet peppers, cabbage, broccoli, lettuce, beets, and eggplant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The return of Agri Expo after 5 years couldn't be more timely. It is emblematic of our renewed focus on agriculture. At this event, we will connect farmers with markets to help them expand their businesses. We will help those who manufacture or create related products to find customers. And we will support enterprising Bahamians in taking their passion for agriculture and fisheries to the next level as entrepreneurs.
There's one year, all I had to go to the grocery store for was some meat. I grow lettuce, onions, broccoli, carrots, potatoes, everything. I ate from the ground, and there's nothing like going in the back of your yard and just picking a broccoli and you hear crunch. Yeah.
The Bahamas cannot afford to be food insecure. This is why this government has put food security to the forefront of its agenda. But the government cannot do it alone. We have to move talk to action and work together to grow more of what we eat.
I had a digestive issue, and that's how I started the business. CMOS, God first, and then CMOS healed my issue. And today I have nothing. I live happy and free, pain-free, and I want everybody to live pain-free.
And I look forward to all the exciting ways that our Bahamian fish farmers, fishers, and agribusiness entrepreneurs will drive progress within the Bahamas in particular and our region in general. I thank you. RBC Paradise Island Limited and PDI Paradise Limited have come together with the government to build something extraordinary. A $165 million development which will pay homage to Paradise Island's legacy while propelling it toward an ever more vibrant future. This investment represents the continued confidence that investors have in our tourism product and economy. Last year, as you referred, we broke the record for arrivals with over 9 million visitors to our shores. And this year, we have already seen several record-breaking months.
For helping steer this project through all of the ups, downs, and here and there to finally get to a really beautiful place in terms of having a wonderful project that's going to be a crown jewel in Nassau and a real win-win for the Bahamas and for the tourism industry. So congratulations and thank you.
As foreshadowed in our Blueprint for Change, the government through the National Investment Fund will hold equity, ensuring that 49% of this endeavor is owned by Bahamians.
We will forge ahead, determined and optimistic toward a dazzling future for tourism in the Bahamas. And the Royal Beach Club is an important part of our plans. Thank you.
The Office of the Prime Minister Press Office is the primary liaison between the Fourth Estate and the Office of the Prime Minister and Cabinet.
Every day, we are working to build a more inclusive economy and a stronger, safer country.
Hear all of the latest developments as the Davis administration carries out the broad mandate of progress and change. Our live weekly press briefings provide full access to current newsmakers on the most topical issues of the day. We facilitate prompt responses from cabinet ministers on the latest reports and get answers on the issues that matter to you.
Will any penalties be levied against the
OPM Press Now, keeping you in the know.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Office of the Prime Minister. It's good to see you all as usual.
I look forward to Thursdays just to see you all. I don't know if you believe that, I really do. This morning, we're very happy to be joined by executives of the National Insurance Board. This morning, we'll be talking about the rate increase, which comes into effect on the first Monday in July, which happens to be July 1st, 2024. Of course, this rate increase was necessitated by a series of social changes and demographics in the Bahamas, and not making these adjustments at this point will have implications for the security of the fund. This morning, I'm pleased to be joined by the Director of NIB, Heather Maynard. She's joined by her Deputy Director of Operations, Ms. Tammy Francis, and Consultant, Mr. Jason Moxie. This morning, they will explain and answer your questions on what these changes will mean for the fund, crucial benefits, everything from maternity and unemployment benefits to crucial retirement benefits for all Bahamians who contribute and are part of the workforce. So without further ado, I welcome to the podium this morning NIB Director, Heather Maynard.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. This year, the National Insurance Board, NIB, celebrates 50 years in Social Security Administration. Our mandate is, and has always been, to provide income replacement to insured Bahamians due to loss of income paid for through the collection of contributions, an obligation on which we have never faltered. National Insurance offers 10 benefits, 4 grants, and 4 assistances. NIB has expanded our reach with 28 convenient locations, servicing over 50,000 employers and insuring over 150,000 workers. Throughout the years, the National Insurance Program has proven its dynamism. It is universal, providing relevant coverage to the evolving needs of the workplace. It has demonstrated reliability by ensuring that every consistent and eligible contributor receives a guaranteed pension at retirement. Today, NIB pays a monthly pension to over 43,000 beneficiaries, totaling in excess of $27 million per month. Its robustness was evident during turbulent times such as Hurricane Dorian and COVID-19 pandemic. Aligning with other national progressive initiatives, it has contributed to the successful implementation and administration of programs like the National Prescription Drug Plan, the National Health Insurance Plan, and the previously administered government assistance programs. The program's pioneering nature has led it to be studied and emulated by regional counterparts. When we look at NIB compared to other regional programs, we note that NIB has the 4th lowest contribution rate while offering more benefits than 16 out of 19 other regional nations. NIB has successfully implemented the minimum standard for 8 out of 9 Social Security benefits and the conditions under which they are granted as mandated by the ILO Social Security Minimum Standards Convention 1952, number 102. The only other Caribbean nations to meet these standards are Barbados and Grenada. Indeed, national insurance in the Bahamas has always been very inclusive and generous, but it has come at a cost. Since 2016, NIB has experienced a deficit. Consecutive actual reports have indicated that the contribution rate should be increased to prevent the depletion of the reserve of the pension branch before the year 2028. Report findings have indicated that changing demographics, such as an aging population and a declining birth rate, are having an adverse impact, accelerating the widening gap between benefit payments and contributions collection. To meet obligations, the report has recommended that the national insurance rate should increase by 1.5% initially, and that the time to act is now. To ease the burden to employers, NIB sees this as a phased process starting with an initial increase of 1.5%. For employers and employees, the 1.5% is shared equally. The employees' rate increases from 5.9% to 6.65%, and the employees' rate increases from 3.9% to 4.65%. For the self-employed, the new rate is 10.3%, and for voluntarily insured persons, the new rate is 6.5%. We encourage all employees to get prepared by following our next steps recommendations, and we encourage all workers to visit our dedicated rate increase site as a resource. The site is nibrateincrease.com. We take this time to note that the national insurance rate has increased once in 50 years to make provision for the inclusion of unemployment benefit. We understand that any increase is never favorable, and we continue to exercise all due diligence to preserve the sustainability of the fund. We will continue to work with policymakers exploring all options to minimize the impact on employers and employees. We continue to manage administrative costs, which have remained consistently under 20% of total costs for almost a decade. We wish to ensure all stakeholders that NIB remains prudent in the management of its investment portfolio. The investment policy of the National Insurance Board reflects an unwavering commitment and priority to protect the safety and stability of the fund. The composite of the fund's investment portfolio demonstrates diversification across asset classes like foreign and domestic bonds and investment in domestic equities and real estate. Our well-structured portfolio is aimed at mitigating risk to meet long-term pensions to beneficiaries and maintain liquidity to meet short-term obligations. Immediate goals of our investment strategy are to rebalance our overweight portfolio areas to provide a more balanced, risk-adjusted fund asset allocation to contribute to long-term sustainability objectives, to redeploy excess cash into appropriate assets to generate a continued return to the fund, and to rebuild the non-domestic dollar investment portfolio to provide needed diversification and growth opportunities. The National Insurance Board upholds the statutory obligation to prepare and to submit reports on the operations of the National Insurance Fund. In accordance with Section 47(1) of the National Insurance Act, 1972, the Board is mandated to prepare a yearly annual report of the National Insurance Board. Included with this report are the accounts of the National Insurance Fund as certified by the auditor. Included therein is the amount of securities in which monies forming part of the National Insurance Fund are invested. It is further mandated that the Minister should lay the report before both chambers of Parliament. On April 3, 2024, the Honourable Minister Alfred Sayers KC tabled the 2020 and 2021 annual reports inclusive of financial statements for those years. The 2022 financial statements have been audited as of August 11, 2023, and the 2023 financial statements are currently being audited. In accordance with Section 48(1) of the National Insurance Act, the Board is obligated to conduct a review of the National Insurance Fund at least every 5 years. Section 48(2) mandates that the Minister should lay the report before both chambers of Parliament. The 11th actuarial report was conducted as of December 31st, 2018, and tabled. All reports are published on the NIB website, www.nib-bahamas.com. Over the years, NIB has made substantial investments in technology, the full impact of which will soon be experienced by stakeholders. These initiatives are designed to improve stakeholders' overall experience by streamlining administrative processes, cutting processing times, and delivering more tailored and prompt services. An online card renewal portal is currently in its final testing phase. Soon, anyone who has an NIB card with a photograph may renew their expired card online. Many employers have already signed up for and are using the Employer Self-Service or ESS portal, but we want to encourage more buy-in from employers to utilize the portal as a convenient way to meet their monthly compliance obligations. Soon, we will announce the rollout of the CTED mobile app, which is specifically intended for use by small businesses or self-employed persons. The C10 mobile app is a similar tool to the ESS portal. It has comparative features and is created with the same goal of allowing businesses to upload their contribution statements and make contribution payments directly into NIB's system. The objective is to encourage greater compliance by the smaller employers and the self-employed. The mobile application will be compatible with Android and Apple devices. Provision of a new NIB website is currently underway. The current NIB website is outdated and static in function, suitable for providing informational content only, benefits and assistances, but to conduct business transactions and to obtain real-time assistance. Finally, and of paramount importance, is the imminent launch of our claims portal. This initiative holds significant value as it aligns with our core mission of delivering timely benefits to workers during periods of vulnerability. We recognize the inherent stress of income loss, and our commitment is to offer insured individuals security and reassurance. Through the claims portal, our aim is to streamline the application process, bring convenience, and empower users with self-tracking capabilities. Based on the features of the portals coming on stream, we hope to demonstrate that resources are directed to better service delivery for every area of NIB: card renewals, claims application, compliance obligations, and our website for general consumption. NIB looks forward to providing an efficient and responsive online experience for all users, which for us translates into better customer service. I am joined here by my colleagues, Mr. Jason Moxey and Dr. Tammy Francis, who will assist with addressing any questions that you may have. Dr. Tammy Francis has been employed with the National Insurance Board for the past 22 years. She has achieved a master's degree in actuarial science with a specialization in Social Security and a doctoral degree in business management. She is presently the Deputy Director with responsibility for New Providence operations and actuarial services. In her role with responsibility for actuarial services, she's tasked with collecting and analyzing the country's demographic data to provide information to assist in making critical decisions to ensure the long-term sustainability of the National Insurance Fund. Mr. Jason Moxey. He is an experienced Social Security administrator with a distinguished career spanning over 4 decades. Mr. Moxey joined the board in 1973 in preparation for the October 7, 1974 opening. During his tenure, Mr. Moxey has served in senior positions in compliance and operations. Since his retirement, Mr. Moxey has continued to serve the board in roles such as member of the Board of Directors and consultant for public relations and training. Mr. Moxey has been involved with pivotal projects to include conversion of contributions records to a digital format and the expansion of registration that facilitated broader registration for all citizens and residents in anticipation of national health insurance implementation. He has also assisted in the amendments to the National Insurance Act and regulations. Dr. Francis and Mr. Moxey are technocrats in Social Security. I invite them to join me at the podium for any questions you may have. Questions?
Everyone always talks about the NAB's investments being a drain on the fund. Is that the case?
No, the investments are not a drain on the fund. All our investments are done in accordance with the National Insurance Act. We actually have a fourth schedule in the Act which directs how we are to make investments. we make returns on those investments.
What was the size of the investments compared to the overall deficit at NIB?
Right now, what I will give you is, instead of the investments, I would not have that number for you right today. But in terms of our reserves, we are looking now at about $1.4 billion of reserves. And of course, these reserves would have been pivotal during the times of the Hurricane Dorian, as well as the COVID-19 pandemic. Without the reserves, we would not have been able to do what we would have done during 2019 and 2020. But after this, we would be able to give you an actual figure with regards to the investment portfolio.
Including the return on investment as well?
Yes.
Okay, understood. Now you mentioned
The return on investment, we are somewhere around about 4.1%.
4.1%?
Yes.
Okay, that's good. You mentioned COVID-19 and Dorian. I know that there was a huge unemployment scheme that went out with COVID-19 in particular. Was it a mistake to get NIB involved with unemployment? Because I know it started off as a retirement fund, wasn't it, right?
As our director would have indicated, the ILO Convention 102 requires 9 particular branches, of which we have 8 of those branches. Minimum standards, we would need at least 3 benefits in order to comply with the ILO Convention 102. What is special about the Bahamas is that we would have been the second country, only the second country of the CARICOM nations to have implemented the unemployment program. Keep in mind, the unemployment program was initially implemented as a non-contributory benefit, where out of the need for the recession, back in 2008 and 2010, we introduced the non-contributory, and we were able to capture many persons who would have had, from a 5-year span of unemployment, we would have been able to capture those individuals. However, just a year later, as she would have indicated, we would have increased our contribution rate, and that was, of course, only the first time. That particular increase then allowed several persons, all workers in the Bahamas, to contribute to the fund. And during Dorian, as well as COVID-19, that particular benefit, I say, would have been actually the savior for many individuals who would not have had an option or anywhere to get those funds from out of the unemployment that would have come from Dorian as well as COVID-19.
So that increase offset the persons who actually asked for unemployment, that's what you're saying?
Say that again?
Did that increase actually offset the persons who were asking for unemployment assistance?
I'm not following your question.
You said that the rate increased, didn't it?
Yes, it did.
For the first time in 50 years.
Yes.
But the amount of persons who were asking for unemployment assistance, would that be able to offset the amount of persons that were asking for unemployment assistance?
Okay, initially we of course, like I said, it was non-contributory, so we would have utilized some funds from our medical benefits branch. However, by the time we were at COVID, no country would have been prepared for the extraordinary aspect that would have happened with regards to COVID. So of course, outside of a Dorian, outside of a COVID-19, in previous years, we would have been able to handle all of the claims awarded, but COVID-19 and Hurricane Dorian were extraordinary events, so we would have had to have tapped into the reserves to be able to cover. We would have paid in excess of over $200 million when you look at the Hurricane Dorian, you look at COVID-19 also, and you include the government assisted programs.
Okay, so last year's deficit would have been $93 million. Are you able to give, I guess, a rough estimate of how much you expect this year's deficit to be?
So this year, the deficit will be if there was no increase, this year, the deficit would be around $65 million. However, with the upcoming increase for July 1st, our deficit will be reduced to about $38 million. So that's a $27 million reduction. So the contribution, you can see that the contribution rate increase is something that is very, very necessary, and we are on our way towards sustainability of the fund.
Are you able to say maybe how many persons NIB, or how many employers NIB would have taken to court between, I guess, maybe this year and last year, or within the last year for failing to pay NIB contributions?
I would say over probably around 300. persons we would have taken to court, and this includes self-employed persons as well. And usually when they're taken to court, they pay their arrears. There are several offenses. The main offense obviously is failure to pay. There's also an offense called failure to produce records. And usually when the persons are summoned with a summons to appear to court, they pay their obligation, or if they cannot pay the obligation in full at that time, they will enter an installment agreement and pay off the arrears. NIB is always willing to assist the employer.
Is that an increase or a decrease from the previous year?
No, it's an increase.
It's an increase?
Yes.
You're able to give an average previous year. The increase is about 12.1% over the previous year.
No, they're asking about the number of prosecution that has taken place. Yeah, the 300 exceeds the previous year's.
Yeah, yes, by 12.1%. It does. Yes.
Would you be able to give a figure as to how much employers actually owe NIB, the overdue funds, an actual figure?
I cannot give you a figure offhand, but I cannot give you a figure offhand.
She'd make that available to you.
But I can make that available to you after the session.
Would you be able to say what more is NIB going to be doing? You're going to try to take more of these employers to court to...
Every day, NIB is taking employees to court. We prosecute in all of the family islands. We are always prosecuting individuals for the offenses failure to pay and the other offense failure to produce. So we have an active prosecution department.
Any other questions? Thank you very much.
Well,
Can I get a copy
thank
of the
you.
speech, please, Ms. Nina?
Of course you can. And thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think we got a lot in there in that half hour. Are there any other questions this morning? Yes. Yes, you're correct. That deadline has come. If not for a day or two, I believe the deadline has passed. As you know, a 30-day deadline was given for the port to respond to the letter issued by the government. I'm advised that parties are meeting in Grand Bahama. Both parties are in Grand Bahama for additional talks. Now, what happens next will depend on the outcome of those talks. So we await to see what will happen next and give a further update as it's made available.
U.S. Department of State would have released a report saying the country struggles with the human rights, including gender discrimination, as well as, gender-based violence and discrimination against those of the LGBTQI plus community. Has the Office of the Prime Minister come across this report? Has it been reviewed? Are those concerns shared as well?
Well, there are always concerns where there may be abuses of people of any category, and the government continues to work with stakeholders to ensure that those acts are eliminated altogether. Any further questions? Thank you very much, everyone. It's a brief one today. One more? Okay.
The leader of opposition would have said, responding to the Prime Minister's, recent comments on marital relations and calling him a serial flip-flopper, in regards to, I guess, suggestion that marital rape, divorce is the solution to marital rape. Any response to that?
I don't think there's a further response that the Prime Minister responded to that this week, and I will just say that discussions continue with all stakeholders on all matters related to that. Right? Thank you very much, everyone. Have a great day.